Good afternoon, Abbotsford residents. I'm Mr. Pelican. I'm running for your mayor, commander-in-chief. I made it clear, and I will lead that fight for my residents with everybody that witnessed it to stand forward so the whole world could see on the organized crime in the Abbotsford Police. The Abbotsford Police name became a registered name under the police for a mob, an elite mob. It's long overdue that the police now in BC have to become a province police force or back to the RCMP. Why the RCMP are so great is because they rotate their guys and they can't be bought like Henry did with Olenoff and that. But the Abbotsford Police's mistake was not doing protocol and duty and figured they were smarter than everybody else. The big registered name and the big goons that pump steroids and bully people. We're going to kick people's asses and we're going to save it. Look what we're getting. A free ride. Nobody will come after me because I could tell you, gangs, gangs, gangs. I'm important on the investigation team. These were the men upstairs, and the man down the bottom said, remember that saying, Mr. Pelican, when you say there's corruption at the top, it's hard to get rid of it. When that's the bottom, it's easy. When this shit hits the fan, all the men at the top get blamed and they're gone. This was an elite, organized criminal ring. Now, let me paint you one picture so the chief can sit there with his guys. Did you see Mr. Pelican? You broadcast? Oh, Chiefy, I can't be let go. I just can't be, Chiefy. I just can't. I got to get out on the town. Christmas is coming, Chiefy. I got to get my overtime, Chiefy. Chiefy, there's gangs, Chiefy. Get Brad Viss here, Chiefy. Tell Chiefy, look at it, Chiefy, the big name. These threats were outrageous. These threats were violent. These threats with these losers probably blamed when they lose their life and manipulate the company for sympathy. It was an elite ring. What was it about? Drugs? What was it about? Women? No, it wasn't, ladies and gentlemen. Here is what it was about. Here is the little golden gem and jewel that everybody looks for. Here it was. City taxpayers' money, lifting lands and jobs, and Darren Brown opened the door. The Abbotsford Police, men and women, under my mayorship that had a responsibility up the top, will have their name printed all over, well, who they are, what position they held, and why they didn't follow procedure and protocol, why they went out and threatened. Why do you think they did it? Because Henry needed the driver's seat. Look at the development. Gangs, are you watching it every day? Look at it. Look at the Abbotsford boys. These are the men that go into the courts and ask the judges and juries to believe them. These are the men that did these filthy, heinous acts to the South Asian councillor Mogale with the task force. When I took it to the RCMP mission, them men didn't care that this was a police force and we shouldn't go another police force. The evidence was overwhelming to stand up and do what was right. The framing, the blackjacking, the manipulation, Abbotsford's top not coming out, Donna Macy, Mike Sir, Keelan Olenoff, it was just over him. But the attempted murder in broad daylight, Henry selling his car, the loading of the elections and everything, this was a mob and it needs to be stopped. I'm going to advise Abbotsford Police, begging on to Surrey Police Department, please, please, can we have Surrey come in and take us over and they commence all the investigations? Mike's been working the team out there. Mike, he will save this company. It's long overdue we go to provincial police or the RCMP. These men got to know people in the town and were bought off. How many innocent people and victims are laying in prisons because of shit like this? The black and white uniform. The weight of carrying a bulletproof vest and a gun and a badge, but the weight of this will just bury you. What are they doing at the city? I made a video a few weeks ago outlining what Patricia Dreesen said she calls other people out and what she was doing as a city council. How did I learn that information? I want you to hear. There was fights in the city from the tourism board, from Alex Mitchell and everything. Alex Mitchell is the head of the Chamber of Commerce, and rather than fight for the community and the business community, she ain't. You can see what she's directly doing. So let me paint that picture for you. You can see the Chamber of Alex Mitchell kissing Ross's backside right now because they need to rerun him, and she's telling all the business community this is who we're going with, Ross. The Chamber needs to stay away from that. That's why Alex Mitchell has to go, and Henry's driving. So when Nicole Reid got caught being a city council and economic development officers, and they told. Nicole Reid's team comes forward, and she wants to tell. She said Patricia Dreesen was Henry's plant over Sandy Blue. And Sandy Blue, you could see the picture at the police foundation. I raised 50 grand. No Irwin Brown, no Ron Funk, no police chief, no Henry Brown, no Ross Siemens, nobody. Oh, the police, the Abbotsford police, they want a statement to make. We need people that can run, cut the budgets, cut the overtime, no more goofing around, pack your lunches, get to work, hit the streets and solve crime. Not that shithole where I need a brand new GMC truck for $100,000. Do it in the name of police and get out there and buy it. It's very bad. The people on Mackenzie Bog, deadly sick, and Henry scandals Bruce Bamman with the newspaper on the toxic that could get in the homeless lungs. And all them people got sick. The scandal of calling my neighbor a dumb brown East Indian, and why should I help her? For money lifts. When Henry knew he couldn't buy me, he had to threaten me. When Henry knew that if Bruce Bamman and other people that he already jacked over would see this, it would be a downfall. This is an elite establishment, but the Abbotsford A.P.D. promotes and props up the organized criminal ring. They don't got a choice in a matter when something goes wrong. They don't got a choice to take sides of, he's a radical, he's a nutcase, I don't like their YouTube videos. Protocol and procedure sends it to the court, and the judge then assures me, my family, residents, and my neighbors. Henry Brown's got a no contact, Mr. Pelican. He's assured that he doesn't have guns and everything else. When they covered Henry's hit and run, I went to the RCMP, and the RCMP said, yeah, Abbotsford police are supposed to come out no matter what they do, Mr. Pelican, and assure you that their database that they sneak and check. Get a database. I need to go beat this guy up for Henry. Look at these big figures. Look at me upstairs. Get that database grabbed over. Look at me. I'm an investigator. Open the database. Let's see what we can get. To assure you that Henry is not a gun owner. That Henry needs now being pushed in the corner with his son and everything telling that he didn't come out and end your life. They didn't do that. They took the mob side and their boss, believing Henry had Ed, Mike, and the newspaper and everything. One person, Darren Brown, opened the door on a police department that's unforgivable. They cannot be trusted in our streets, in our schools, anywhere. They have to be removed immediately and rebuilt. That stuff is unbelievable, but it's sick. It's just sick that our community paid taxes. Dreesen, here I am. Dreesen gets called out by Chilliwack City Council, Nicole Reid. She said, they scandaled me. I'll teach her a lesson, really. Dreesen sits as a city council, and she's on all them boards. She also runs a company that raises money in the name of flood victims and raises money for this, appointed by the city. And she raises this money for these profits and non-profits organizations. Her company, which is double dipping. This is what I learned from Nicole Reid's team. The Gala, and employed by the Gala to make money, put the event on, host the event, and raise the money as a city official. She raises it, Nicole Reid's team said, for Archway. Then she sits here, the loud mouth with the other councillors. You see? Are you watching, Chief? Are you watching with your big investigators? And she passes when the decision comes for Archway to have its municipal taxes waived for her company, and raises and works for Archway and doesn't excuse herself. And then you could see Abbotsford News, back it off. Back it down, Vicky. Back it down. Let's go scandal Manji Soy. Let's go scandal Mr. Pelican. Let's go scandal Bruce Bamman. Let's go scandal Mogale. Look what Henry needs. And the chief's sitting there going, oh, I'm an investigator. I'm an investigator. Remember Bob Rich. Remember Bobby. Bobby told the lady, if you don't turn the leg up, you're going to pay it all back. So she had to pay it all back that she embezzled in that. You know what a conflict of interest is? I made it clear. Me owning my construction company, the WCB clears me because my brother owns it. Me having all these speeding tickets, infractions by my great Abbotsford police. Look at me, I'm going after gangs. Are you all watching, police force? And ICBC cleaning it because he's my brother. The Abbotsford police were a bunch of shit. Garbage men that became useless, that became under people's thumbs, became manipulators through advertising, manipulators through Vicky Hopes, manipulators through their social media, and manipulators what they could fool the community. It was probably long coming before I came in. Henry just happened to pick the wrong guy, the wrong time, and the wrong people to fight. All my experience, I made it clear, working with law enforcement through Vancouver, knowing the procedures and many big developers, I could tell you right now, when I went to the RCMP, Henry has to put me in the grave in order to keep the official community plan that he brought Ron Funk, his partners on, and everything. And that means why the Abbotsford police were aimless about going after me constantly every day, ordered by the man that sat on the board, his brother there, Mark Warkentine, and everybody. When the RCMP mission learned it, they said, I want you to take all the witnesses and people that saw Henry do this with Olenoff and the threats on your life and go into Ed Fast, the MP. When I saw Ed cover it, I knew that it wouldn't be hard for me to prove. And you could see it unfolding with Pierre Polliet. So I want to tell you, Chief Watts, I was certified as the captain. I'm certified as an investigator. Look at that ticket. They promoted me. Doesn't carry any weight anymore. It's organized crime. I have to reassure my residents that their safety, they can't be framed. They can walk freely. They don't got to look over their shoulders, be framed to jail, and be raped and brutalized in prison by scums that cannot work for this community, hold values for this community, above all, but work for our justice system, have to and must be replaced. So to Patricia Dreesen, Nicole Reid lights you up because you guys called Nicole Reid as coming in from Chilliwack and sitting here on the tourism board and taking it. The fight is endless. Henry was the man that set this whole shit up and was draining the swamp of Abbotsford. But the development was unbelievable. The scamming of Henry having counsel at his house went so far that the retarded, I don't know how to put it, I'm lost. I'm just get so emotionally when I see this. The attack to own the city by rigging and framing elections. And that is a perfect example what he did to Mo and what he did to Suk Mangel. But you can see Alex Mitchell. What would I do as mayor? Alex Mitchell and her Chamber of Commerce would be dismantled and sent packing. You will run the Chamber of Commerce for the business downtown, and you will take the city on, and you will take people where the complaint is. But I have to bail this out again today. I want to say to the Premier, David A.P.D, all the anguish and everything Abbotsford's been through and the targeted, we know how hard it is. We know how hard it is. And we know that John Rustad and the oppositions are looking to beat you down. And that's unfairly because of a man's negligence, Ross Siemens, on the homeless. And David Eby could see how Vicky hopes. She'll scandal you, Eby. Watch it. She did it to me. Eby's building the highway, kicked the homeless out in the cold, hoping that this would do damage control to Eby. I even will tell my friend John Rustad, I can't do that to David Eby because I know what happened to us and me, my residents, by blackjacking somebody, and that's not true. Ross Siemens is incompetent. Henry's probably writing his speech. Ross, just go down there, set that Christmas tree alight, and show everybody, Rossi's here, Rossi's here. I want to make this clear, Jason. The conflict of interest, being rewarded perks and decisions is exactly what Nicole Reid's team said. You didn't excuse yourself. You voted for Archway to have its grant removed. You voted that you raised the money for it, for the gala. You did that all. Are you and Dreesen and Alex Mitchell going to run for city council? Maybe convince Eric Nivel? Nivel took all his podcasts down. This stuff's just flying in my hands. If I open myself as the RCMP, the evidence are all there. The prosecution will have meals. Look at Dreesen's corporations. Look at all this. Abbotsford Police, I gotta go, Chief. I can't investigate. I got a prostitute to pick up tonight. I'm stressed. Look at me, Chief. Here, Chief. Can I go out in plain clothes? We're gonna put that back. You walk in, and this never happens again. But this is what it was for, ladies and gentlemen. This, the fight with Bruce Bannon, the fight with Mogil, the attack on residents and everything. But the Abbotsford police, men and women, that went in there decided, well, we're going to use police force and we're going to get sympathy from around the world. Police always get bailed out. Henry owned them long before I came along. Darren Brown made that clear when Olenoff was going to his house. Well, we're going to go in as mayor, we're going to come in as residents, we're going to come in with the best that helped Abbotsford residents and helped me go to the world stage, the RCMP. And we're going to tell the veterans of the Abbotsford Police tonight on World YouTube, you had a sworn duty for protocol and procedure, and you covered it up because you thought the mob could get it all covered up. You're going to be removed, then investigated why you failed that, why you let your officers threaten when I was in White Rock and you failed to come out. And I'm going to tell you, you can sit upstairs and pretend I'm going to work with Surrey. Surrey, please, Surrey, can you get a promotement out in Abbotsford? We're working the largest drug raid everywhere. You cannot be trusted in this town from the time you get out of bed to the time you go back to bed. You can't be trusted when you're sleeping. And this conflict of interest of Archway and all this is to buy votes. And you can see what Alex Mitchell did. So Alex, you're about the business community, and you call and you do and you raise the flood money. Why ain't you calling Patricia Dreesen out, Alex? Why ain't you standing here? Remember, Bruce Bannon had to step down, a conflict of interest, being a city council and an MLA. Pressure him. We need Dave Sidhu in there so we can get decisions. And then old Corky Newfeld, pressure him so Harsh can get in there. Pressure him, make the move, pressure Vicky Hopes. And Darren Brown showed me what Vicky Hopes was going to do. It was over. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm very grateful to the RCMP mission. I'm very grateful for your help, your support, and standing on the world stage and making sure that I could prove every bit of evidence, just like Nicole Reed's team came forward, and when Pam was doing what was doing, to show that these ain't political parties that you could go in for help. They were all incorporated together, whether you're conservative or liberal, and you can see the backing of Brad Viss. Why ain't Brad Viss going to Ottawa and complaining what Patricia Dreesen's doing? Oh, Henry would beat me up. Henry would have Vicky Hopes light me up with Ed Fast. Oh, they come after me. You asked to run, and you asked for the position. And when you're in commander-in-chief of that position, you have to take responsibility. And I want to tell Colin Watts this. It's a bloody shit show that you're running. Everybody around the world in Abbotsford, see, I'm disappeared. I'm just hanging on for that money. I got no assistant police chief. I'm just hanging on. The first thing you do is issue an apology. The second thing you should have did, and the first above, is went to the multi-millionaire when you caught threat. The second thing, you should have removed them from all police duties and functions and assured me, residents, that you're going through his criminal and his arrest records. And I can't. Look at the big name. Look at the big name. We got to register a police name. Patricia Dreesen. Abbotsford residents, on behalf of me, are asking you to step down and resign. When I come in as mayor, I'll push criminal charges on you for what you were doing. It's not only a conflict of interest as a city councillor, Dreesen. It's not only that. You got Mark Workentine, who's sitting there as a councillor and a lawyer, and you got the city lawyer and the manager there. It's not only a conflict of interest. You're raising money for the company that hired you. You're also waiving its taxes for the company that hired you, Dreesen. Dreesen, is this your campaign money? Dreesen, is this going to help you get over for what Henry needed? And everybody could see we don't scandal poor Dreesen. We only scandal Bruce Bannon, Mogil, and all them. Henry started this bullying game when he took Nival on, when he took Bruce on, and then he came at innocent families. I made sure from all my big developers and friends, that bully is going to go where he deserves, behind the bars. Look at this. Look at this. Wouldn't Al Capone like to be living today in Abbotsford, BC with Jimmy Hoffert and all that? Look at the official community plan that Darren Brown showed. Look around Mill Lake, all the high-rises coming. Look, I told you Marcus Dalvis is getting a decision because his council friends are there. And we voted, and look at Vicky Hope's writing. Councillors outvoted, Cooper's Farms 3,000. Abbotsford Police are going out, there's Christmas. I'm live. Abbotsford, British Columbia.